The Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida. This is episode 2B of the Finding Florida podcast on the Florida Podcast Network, The Animals of Route 1 Road Trip Part 2.
Welcome to Finding Florida, the podcast that takes you from country to the coast. Join your tour guides, an unlikely pair, city girl Jemmy and country boy Glenn, as they explore the amazing sights and sounds of the Sunshine State.
I am your girl from the coast, Jemmy.
And I am Country Boy Glenn, and we hope you're ready for this very noisy adventure.
Last month, we gave you a peek at one of the most visited tourist attractions in the world, which also happens to be in our backyard. If you missed it, go back and take a listen to episodes 1A and 1B. One of the other things that Florida is known for is its unique and sometimes frightening animals, known as crazy critters sometimes. So
we're not talking about the people, right? We're talking about animals.
Well, yeah. That's a thing, too.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see what kind of people animals we run into on our trip.
I think we already have.
So this month, Glenn and I, we're going to take you on a road trip up the iconic Route 1 in southern Florida and search for the animals of Route 1. No roadkill.
Not roadkill.
Not that type of animal. No, we won't be scraping anything off the ground, we promise. So hop in with us in the back of our rental car and enjoy the ride. Sunshine and palm trees of Florida, Florida. When you need it bad, we've got it good. When you need it bad.
Well, it's Friday at about noontime, and our adventure is about to begin. So what we're doing this time is we're taking a look at all the different animals that we can find along Route 1 here in southern Florida. You know, one of the things that Florida, as we talked about, is known for is its weird, exotic, and mostly deadly animals.
Yeah, and there's some wide variety. Literally every single category animal, there's something down here that will kill you in that category.
That's right. But there's so many cool things to do in southern Florida here along Route 1, which is iconic. And there's been a lot of podcasts about Route 1.
Yeah.
I actually did some research.
Oh,
People
really?
who traveled from Maine to all the way to the Keys on Route 1.
And here we are jumping on board. So
here we
it's
are.
Not an original idea, but we're rolling with it.
I don't think I couldn't find anybody who talked about the animals of Route 1.
Well, there you go. It is original. We're back on the original train.
We have a lot of stops planned for you today. Tell us where we're going to start.
Oh my gosh. So the first place we're going to start is one of my favorite places since I was a kid. It's Palm Beach Zoo. Now, if anybody who's a listener of mine might recall, way back to episode, I think it was 88 of Curve the Cube, I got to talk to one of the zookeepers there, one of the curators, and she is actually going to be joining us there. So we're really excited to be talking to her, Amy Anderson. So thank you and look forward to that.
And by the way, the reason you hear the noise is we thought there would be no better place to start this adventure than on Route 1.
Literally
and we
Route 1.
are on Route 1, broadcasting from Flamingo Park.
We have the pictures to prove it, guys.
Yes.
We thought, what better place to do our first intro podcast about the animals of Route 1 than to stop at Flamingo Park, the iconic animal of Florida.
In front of some banyan trees, which are very iconic Florida,
oh,
too.
yeah, very old and iconic. But yeah, we're also going to be checking out Manatee Lagoon, which I'm really looking forward to. Something about Florida always speaks like, I want to get in the water. I want to see the water animals. So I'm really excited about the manatees.
Of course, everybody thinks Florida for manatees.
Those big old, sweet, gentle, giant sea cows. So we're excited to go see them. What's after that?
Oh, then we head off to Cod and Caper Seafood Market because we thought the animals don't always have to be alive. We're going to talk to the family that runs it and a little bit about the offerings in seafood here in Florida.
And there's so many different kinds.
There is. And you're a seafood lover. So.
I am. I'm going to force it on you,
I hate seafood. I don't eat anything seafood. But apparently tomorrow on Saturday, you're taking me for sushi and I have to try it.
Yep. And we have a couple of friends joining us on that lunch trip. And so you're going to have extra witnesses. And it's going to be awesome.
They're not going to want to be there, I can tell you
that.
I'm
just, as long as you throw up in their direction and not mine. So talking about tomorrow, we're going to go check out Loggerhead Marinelife Center, which is in Juno Beach. And we're so excited because we have an interview going on there, too, with Ashley Isaac. So, oh, my gosh, she's a vet tech over there. So, my gosh, all the questions that I have about how they take care of their animals and all of that, we're going to get
very well known for turtles.
Yeah, and find out what are the fun things that people can learn and experience about turtles over there. So it's very
Now, that's not the only thing we're doing, because we're also going to stop at some of the best fishing places and fishing piers here, and we're going to meet the fishermen.
I'm still hoping for that toothless fisherman. We got to pick up a 6-pack of beer and bring it with us and coax them.
They found out in episode 1, we are definitely going to be interviewing some people along the way, whoever we find that we think is fun and interesting or funny or whatever. We're going to
drunk, whatever.
Because we are going to some dive bars along the way too.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time.
So
we're going to have a good time.
That's our adventure for today. We have to get to the zoo.
Yeah.
So from Flamingo Park along Route 1 in Palm Beach, we're on our way.
On our way.
Have fun and excite your kids about wildlife at the Palm Beach Zoo. Get close to hundreds of animals, like endangered Malayan tigers, playful river otters, even a native Florida panther. Find out more at palmbeachzoo.org. The Palm Beach Zoo. It's your zoo.
Well, we just arrived at our first destination here today.
Ready to kick off things fun.
Yes, we are. And we're at the zoo.
We're in the parking lot. And it's interesting. At the parking lot, there's always like new construction, new exhibits going on. And I don't know exactly what's going on right now, if they're recovering from Hurricane Irma, but they're busy.
Yeah, they're busy here.
You can
It's
tell
a lot
already.
of construction. We're at the Palm Beach Zoo, which is 50 years old.
Yeah.
It was started by a guy by the name of Paul Dreyer.
Dreyer. Why are you pronouncing the it's my town. Paul Dreyer. And he just did a lot for this community a long time ago. He was into horticulture and he wanted to create kind of an animal sanctuary, and he just worked to create parks and a zoo and do it all together in one.
They've had some very interesting animals here over the years. One of them, apparently one of the most famous, was a kangaroo. And there's a funny story. His name was Joey. He was here in the 60s. An airline pilot was between flights in Australia when he found a kangaroo for sale. And
As we all do.
As we all do. I mean, so he purchased it and flew it back to Florida. He was unable to keep the kangaroo.
He's like, what do I do with this now?
Because it kept escaping, and it would end up in town and in West Palm Beach. And apparently the residents were too happy having a kangaroo hopping around. So he donated it then to the zoo, and it became a honorary member of the Boy Scouts, and it became this huge thing about Joey the kangaroo being at the zoo.
So yeah, they're these legendary animals that make their way through the zoo, and the one that I'm excited to see is the current legendary animal, Monty. He is a white alligator, so I know I'm super excited to go in there and see him.
That's great. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, we are in the Palm Beach Zoo, and we are with Amy, who you interviewed before.
Yeah, I believe it was episode 88 of the Curve the Cube podcast. And I interviewed her and her friend Amanda, and they were talking about being zookeepers. So when we decided we were going to come back here, I'm like, let me get in touch with them again. And she was so great. She was available. So I'm so excited.
All right, we're supposed to find her over by the white alligator, so let's head that direction.
Okay. Amy, how are you?
I am doing so great, and I'm so excited that you're back so we can talk more fun animal stuff today.
It's going to be a good time, and we couldn't have started in a better place, right, Glenn, than where we are. Tell everyone where we are right now.
We are at the Palm Beach Zoo, which has been here for a very, very long time, as we just talked about, and we're standing right in front of a white alligator, which is just perfect for Florida.
So perfect for Florida.
Actually, I didn't know we had white alligators, so that's...
So tell us about this very first attraction here that we're standing in front of, because it's an amazing spectacle. A white alligator. Where does he come from?
Can I say he looks fake in plastic, by the way?
Or milk chocolatey, whatever. Yeah. White chocolatey.
Yes, you can. He actually does look like a giant piece of white chocolate, but he is real. Actually, he is moving right now.
Oh, he's turning around.
Yep, he is actually moving. It is
slowly. Not a plastic alligator.
This just in, everybody. Marty is real.
And beautiful.
He is beautiful. He's handsome. We like to call him handsome. So this exhibit is super exciting. We have had a lot of construction going on lately, so I don't know if you guys know about this, but this is Marty's new home right here at the Palm Beach Zoo.
How long has he been here?
He has been here a while.
Because I feel like it's years, right?
It has been years. Okay. It's probably over 10 years. I forget that I age with time, as do the animals. So.
How many white alligators are there?
Well, here's the deal. There are actually... White alligators are not normal. They actually do not survive well in their natural environment. Hence why we built this great luxury suite for him.
It is a luxury suite, too.
He calls it a condition. What is the condition that he has?
Well, he is actually a leucistic white alligator, so he's not albino like some people think that he is.
That was going to be my guess. Yeah. I'm like, he doesn't have red eyes, so I don't get what's going on.
Very good. That is actually how you can tell if it's albino or leucistic. So he has beautiful, gorgeous blue eyes, so you know he's not albino. But it is a pigmentation problem that he has, which is why he is white. So if you think about it, these alligators love to go into these dark little lagoons, right?
Love your physical animation of it. She's literally imitating him squirming into sacred place.
Yes, okay, so if I was a gator and I'm going into these marshes, they're normally dark and they like to hide under things and get muck all over them. So he would stick out like a sore thumb because he is bright white. So when they're little babies, if they're white like that, guess what's going to happen?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get gobbled up, and they're probably not going to be able to sneak up on anything to gobble up themselves either.
Yes, exactly. You've got it. They are just going to gobble, 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 or the predators are going to gobble them up, so they're not going to survive. And the other thing, in the hot Florida sun and your white alligator, what are some other issues?
Sunburn.
Yes.
Does he really get sunburn?
They can.
I was just guessing.
Jinx! Okay, so yes, these animals actually do get sunburned because think about it. Their skin is super white and he has never seen the sun before, so it could definitely burn and you definitely don't want any of that going on.
SP50?
Yes, like SP 5000. Yeah. So we have given him the best SPF that you can by creating this beautiful exhibit for him. And by doing that, it makes it super awesome because we can control his environment a little bit better. Get this, everybody. Hold on to your sand. Over there, you will see Marty haul out on the sand on a pretty regular basis. There is a secret beneath the sand.
Oh, what's that?
It's heated.
So he's a spoiled white alligator.
Yes.
So he gets protected from the heat coming from above.
Yes.
It's treated to the heat from down below.
Yes, it is. It is like a day spa for every day this animal is alive in this
Nice.
exhibit. It's absolutely fantastic. And he also does some exercises as well. Our trainers go in and they teach him to go from the shallow end. He will swim all the way around this tree and come all the way to the deep end. So they train him to go back and forth and they train him to go through his chute. So, I mean, this man has got it made
So
if you are an alligator. I know, right?
And how many pounds of food does Marty eat a day?
Well, that depends on the day because he doesn't eat every single day. And it also depends on the season. So, you know how we change with what we eat during each season? So if it's summertime...
No, I pretty much eat all the time. There's no change.
Around the holidays,
Yeah,
I don't know
there's no
what
change.
you're talking about.
I have not had a lot of pumpkin bars lately. I don't know what you're talking about.
Halloween snacks and treats, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they were just vegetables, right? It
Yeah,
was just
that's right.
vegetables.
Totally.
Yeah, I
Lots
mean,
of
I'm
broccoli
great. Well, the good thing is that if you do eat lots of broccoli, you're not going to turn green.
Okay.
So that's good. That's good.
So I know there's so many different amazing animals at the Palm Beach Zoo. Are they, but we're in the Florida section of it. So you guys have a Florida section to the zoo.
We do.
Yeah, describe what you can find here.
Yeah, what's unique to Florida?
Okay, well, in Florida, there are obviously
That's
a
the
lot
train
of very
going by or
exciting
the
noises.
something going by. Oh, the Ferris wheel. Okay.
All
Carousel.
aboard! So we have some Florida panthers over around the corner. So we have Sassy, and
Is that one up there? We saw someone hanging out up top.
yes, on the catwalk.
Yeah.
And they do their little turn on the catwalk as well, you guys.
They're too sexy. They're too sexy.
So yes, Sassy normally has this exhibit, and then Mr. Miko has the other exhibit. But it's really nice because they can share like brothers and sisters share at home, right, everybody? So they will swap exhibits. So sometimes Miko will be on this side, and then Sassy will be on the
What
other
makes
side.
a Florida panther different than another panther?
Well, if you look at R2, we have a cougar. So they're from different locations. So he's out west, and she is a native girl right here to the hot weathers of Florida. So she is smaller in stature, and she has this beautiful grayish tone to her, where Miko, which is the cougar, he has more of a kind of like a khaki brownish color to him, and he's bigger. His head is huge. His paws are massive. I mean, he is a sight to see for sure.
Wow. So how many days a year is the zoo open? Is it 365? Is there a best time to come? Like, give our listeners some little bit of inside scoop.
Sure, yeah. So our zoo is almost open 365 days. We are closed for Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you for taking time. What's the website?
It is palmbeachzoo.org.
Okay, so we totally had to just pull over right now for this, your
Random find.
We are driving right now from the zoo over to Manatee Lagoon.
Along the lovely, beautiful, antique row of Route 1.
I mean, there are literally antique shops on either side.
That's not just the people, it's everybody.
Yeah,
no,
in
like
like
the stores.
a 2-block radius, I found at least 8. But what's even crazier of a find is this random pink bunny. No, it's not just a normal pink bunny.
No, it's
guys.
a 20-foot-tall pink bunny.
It's huge. It's the size of the store it's next to, which I have no idea what it even is, because all my eyes went to was the pink bunny. It's crazy. So look at the picture on social media.
And to clarify, it was not a strip club, as best we could tell.
No, as best as we could tell, it was not a strip club.
It was not the Pink Bunny Club.
But I might send you in there to go verify, Glenn. That would be interesting.
There's another animal sighting on Route 1, the giant pink bunny.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Buffett. Save the Manatee Club has helped to protect imperiled manatees and their aquatic habitat for decades. But there's still more work to be done. Threats from cold weather, red tides, pollution, and boat collisions continue to take their toll on the manatee. So let's work together to safeguard the manatees and the places they call home. Be the friend they need. Visit SaveTheManatee.org. Thank you.
Well, the next stop on Route 1 heading north, we just came from the zoo, and then we discovered there's a lot of traffic on Route 1 heading north on a Friday night. That's the one thing we discovered. And we are now at the Manatee Lagoon, because the other animal that Florida is really known for is manatees. And of course, Jemmy and I have seen manatees many times. There's little spots that all the locals know to go to find them. But if you're heading up Route 1, there's a fairly new must-see spot, and it's called Manatee Lagoon. And Sarah's the manager, and we're sitting in her office right now. Now, we are here, the Manatee...
Let's be honest, we bombarded her.
Yeah, that's right.
She was kind of to let us in.
Friday afternoon, why not?
We're here, and you're doing an interview. But we're here, and the manatees are not. But they should be shortly. They haven't quite made their way here.
Late lunch, in a few weeks or something.
I sent out an email, but nobody showed up. So, Sarah, Manatee Lagoon, what is it?
It is a free center that's basically devoted to manatees and to Lake Worth Lagoon, which is the body of water right outside our front door. So,
is this the intercoastal here?
It's Lake Worth Lagoon, and it's part of the intercoastal flows into it. But we had the inlet, the Palm Beach Inlet. Like you can stand on our deck right outside and actually almost
see it. It's beautiful from here. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Why do the manatees congregate here? And that's why your center is here, because you can see them when they're in season.
They come because when the weather is cooler and the water temperatures dip below 68 degrees, they need to get warm, and they learn from their mothers growing up as they migrate up and down the coastline that they can go inland to places like power plants, and the water coming out of our power plant is like 10 or 15 degrees warmer than the water that's out in the larger body of water in Lake Worth Lagoon.
So they're coming here and gravitating towards this area came after the power plant was here already. Or were they already finding their way here and then the power plant
not necessarily. I mean, they've been coming for decades because the power plant was here from the 50s, 1950s. As a matter of fact, when we modernized the plant, we went from oil to natural gas. We actually had to have huge heaters in the water, even though the plant wasn't operating, to make sure that we continue to meet the needs of the manatees.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So, before power plants were in existence, there are warmer springs and warmer bodies of water inland, believe it or not, where they can go. And there's maps where they show where these manatees, like, you have no idea there's even water channels, and they end up there, and then they have some sort of radar that says, okay, time to turn around and go back down the channel and back down into the intercoastal, or sometimes they'll even hug the coastline of the state and come down, in the ocean, and then they'll come into the inlet like they do here, and then they know right where they cross the channel and come right over to our little outflow area.
That's so interesting. Even when they're not here, there's such a center involved of learning, and it looks like there's a lot of information here. So what is it that makes manatees so interesting, and what is it about them that's so unique? They're very special, sacred animals.
They are.
There is a fascination with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah. And they're mammals.
They're mammals. They don't really look like much else out there. Their closest relative is the elephant, believe it or not.
Yeah, because everybody calls them sea cows, but
right.
I've owned cows, and they're a lot more active.
Yeah, they really look nothing. They also were mistaken as like mermaids, believe it or not.
Because
of
the tails, they have the big tails.
Yeah, probably. And people love them. And it's funny, when we first opened, it was a very cold winter. So that wasn't this past winter, it was the previous winter. And we had, hundreds of manatees here, and we had thousands of people coming here. And it was so exciting, and everyone, but then last winter it was warmer, and we'd still have, a couple manatees. And I noticed that people get as excited over hundreds as they do over one. It's a special experience to see them up front.
Now, manatees are we're having trouble for a long time,
Right.
boats and all natural habitat and all of that we've heard about at the zoo with the other animals. What are they on a rebound now, or
they were recently downlisted from endangered to threatened, which people initially were like, "Oh, why are they doing that?" They're still and there's some validity to that because we want to continue to protect them. But the reality is that they have grown in numbers, and part of it is because of all the restrictions and the rules of their waterways. It helps them. It slows down the recreational vehicles and makes people more aware. And what we try and do is teach people to be more aware here at the center as well.
Now, obviously, when we see an animal that is just adorable and super sweet, our human instinct sometimes is just to go, "Oh, look at this," and get all over and touch it and want to pet it and
Right.
feed it. But what's the reality of how we should act if we ever are swimming around and we do come across a manatee? What should people actually do?
I think we should give them space. I mean, we're sort of in their world when we see them in the water. I mean, I think it's fun to look at them and watch them. And I know a lot of people like to give them fresh water, but you might not be there next time they come back for the fresh water, and they might make decisions based on that experience. Same with feeding them. There is a lot of seagrass out there. That's what they eat. They're used to it. That's what they learn. So giving them food, lettuce, we don't recommend it.
Hershey bars?
Nothing.
Not good.
No, nothing. Not a good idea.
No.
So don't start chucking your extra Halloween
Yeah,
candy in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how much do they eat? I mean, it looks like they would eat a lot.
They eat a lot. They eat all day long. I should know poundage wise, but they eat hundreds of pounds, I think, a day. Don't quote me, but I think that's true. And what's really cool about manatees is because they're always eating, they have something called marching molars. So they're unlike us. We're born with, 2 sets of teeth that come down. They continually make teeth. So as they're chewing,
Like sharks, right?
I don't know if sharks maybe they do.
Yeah.
But they grind down the front teeth with the sandy, gritty stuff that they're getting when they're eating the seagrass. So as those break away, a new one marches down the molars, and they're constantly making.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. We actually have the teeth here in the jaws and show people that. Yeah.
So when is season? When can they find the manatees here?
So the season starts.
When does
November,
the email go out and the manatees
really.
actually
When do they show up?
Yeah, I mean,
November 15th.
apparently they don't read their email very often. I don't know.
Through March 31st. But the rule of thumb is it's got to be cold for a couple days. And it's very cold, I guess. I was just talking to someone up north. It's cold, and they feel that and they start heading down. So I think even when we had that cold snap a couple weeks ago.
How far north do they go?
Most of them stay in northern Florida.
Right. Because we've seen them up in Daytona a lot.
Oh yeah.
That area.
Well, yeah. But they'll go there and they'll go a little bit north. And then some adventurous ones, mostly males, who are unencumbered with calves.
The troublemakers?
The troublemakers.
Yeah.
They go a lot further. I mean,
they're going to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. Well, they've been in New York. They've been to Maine.
Really?
And a lot of times what happens is they'll go all the way up there, and sometimes they'll make it back, but sometimes they'll get so far they can't get back. And that's
in
when
time for
they're
the season
rescued.
change. Yeah.
And that's when they have issues with the cold.
So you'd be safe coming to Manatee Lagoon probably December through March.
I think so,
Yeah.
but just you have to look at the temperature.
Yeah.
If it's not cold, they won't need to come here to get warm.
And what are some of the cool special experiences and attractions that people can have when they're here and it is manatee season?
Sure. Well, we're open we're open in the summer too. And usually there aren't as many manatees here. There are some in the area though, which we will see. But there's always some kind of fish in the outflow area. But we have free tours.
How's the viewing here? How's the viewing work?
It's beautiful. Oh, it's upstairs or downstairs. The upstairs, if we have a special event upstairs, we'll close the observation deck, but you still have a beautiful view downstairs. And we're right on the water. We're looking at Palm Beach. You see Peanut Island.
Is it an underwater view or?
No.
Okay.
No, we do not have we're working on that. And we actually have a webcam, or excuse me, a manatee
I saw the
cam.
manatee cam.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you can sort of check it out and see, and the view sometimes is good depending upon what the weather is, but you can see if there are manatees in the outflow by looking there.
What's the website?
It is visitmanateelagoon.com. And along with the tours, we have art classes. We've got Sunday lectures by a variety of environmentalists. We have junior aqua labs. At this point, everything is free. Parking is always free and admission is always free.
We're so excited that one of the listeners that we met from the Horse Radio Network from my real job, and she is seeing us here at Manatee Lagoon. Hi, Mo.
Hi. How are you
She
guys?
was also our rescuer during the hurricane and gave up her office for us to use for a week. So we really appreciate that. But it actually, to set the scene a little bit, we are by the lagoon that we heard about a little bit earlier. It's a beautiful day. There are the multi-bazillion-dollar yachts just down here closer to Palm Beach. And I'm looking at them right now going, wonder what one of those costs to run an hour. But it is just beautiful here tonight.
Because to give people the idea, I mean, we're standing on the back of Manatee Lagoon faces the Intercoastal, and the other side of that is Palm Beach Island. So yeah, we're seeing mansions and yachts for miles. Yeah.
Big ones, big mansions, big yachts. So, Mo, one of the fun things we are trying to do at every adventure we do is corner somebody to ask them trivia.
And you're the lucky one.
Yay!
You win.
I'm so excited.
And being that this is a show all about animals of Florida,
Yeah.
I think that's what the trivia questions are about. So be ready.
Are they human animals? Like the Florida man that you hear in the
The
news
Florida
story?
man is very famous,
Yes.
but he's so elusive. We couldn't even find any good information on him.
No, he's in jail.
What I understand is all true. It is all true.
It's always true.
We couldn't find a jail along Route 1, so this is why we're here.
All right, so first question for you, Bo.
Yes.
What is the stingray shuffle? Are you familiar with
The
this
stingray
term?
shuffle.
Yeah.
No, but I have swum with stingrays. So I'm going to say it's when they get under like the sandy silty thing and get their little flappers underneath that.
So you are so close, and here's the
Oh.
reason, because you were looking at it from the stingray's perspective, and the stingray shuffle is actually what the humans need to do so they don't step on them. So you're walking out into the water, and you kind of shuffle your feet and instead of taking actual steps, and it
yeah.
disturbs the sand just enough and puts a vibration in there that the stingrays know to float out of your way.
Ah.
So yeah, they're under the sand. You can't see them. So the stingray shuffle, and then you won't step on them.
See, this show has interesting facts and safety tips.
That's right. That's right.
That's why I love
That's
it.
right.
This is true. This is true. Okay, next question. When a dolphin is giving birth, what can often be seen nearby? This is a multiple choice question.
Okay.
A, another dolphin, male or female, assisting. B, a group of males.
Be the medical community
I was gonna
shows up.
say,
It's the
is that the
paramedic.
nurse, or-
It's the paramedic. goes.
Is it a nurse shark?
It could be, could be. B, a group of males circling for protection. Or C, a shark circling for a quick meal.
Oh, no.
I know, it's got morbid real fast.
Oh, well, I mean, I think the nature person in me thinks it's probably the shark, but I don't really want that to be true.
And it's not true.
Okay.
Yay! It's not the answer. It's not the answer. The actual answer is another dolphin. There's another.
Yay.
Another dolphin is often seen swimming nearby, assisting the birth. Isn't that
love
cool?
that.
They do have nurses and doctors.
Yeah, they do.
It's, what is it called in the human world? A doula.
A doula, right? It's a doula midwife.
dolphin.
A little
Yeah. It's a Greek dolphin here to assist you.
All right, next question. This is a true/false question.
Okay.
The squirrel tree frog is Florida's largest native tree frog. Squirrel tree frog.
I'm going to say false.
Very good. And I know this isn't because I know you did listen to the last episode. However,
I did.
it's actually because the animal featured in last episode's mystery sound was the barking tree frog, and that is the largest tree frog in Florida. So I guess we'll tie into the last episode there.
Very nice.
Okay.
Go back and listen, by the way. if you haven't.
Episode 1A
Hint,
and
hint,
1B.
hint.
All right. So part of the reason why we're exploring animals in Florida, because animals in Florida tend to be famous for one reason or another, and often it's because they can be very dangerous. So here's a question: whether or not
No, they're really all out to kill us.
So is this true or false? Florida has about 10 varieties of stinging caterpillars.
God, now we have to worry about the caterpillars.
Gosh. You know what? I'm going to say it's false because I think we have more than that.
Well, I understand that sentiment, but it actually is true that we do have 10.
all
So it's a little bit
Caterpillars.
Caterpillars.
Little cute caterpillars.
Yeah.
God, the spiders are out to kill us. The snakes, the alligators, everything's.
They're all on the hunt.
Not
you
to
should
mention
be
the
glad
bugs
this
we have
isn't-
in our houses.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, speaking of bugs, great bug question.
bug
Okay, true or
question.
false? Mosquitoes can smell human sweat. This is a lovely question, right? Everyone's getting in the mood to this one. Mosquitoes can smell human sweat from more than 200 feet away.
Oh, I think that's true.
It's actually false. but the answer's not that much better. It's 100 feet, which is still kind of crazy. You can smell us from 100 feet away.
It's warm out. We're all sweating out here right now by the water. So great.
All right, one more question.
Zika virus for us.
One more question for you, since we are exploring the animals of Route 1. So we're talking about a road here. So here we go. Which is not an unusual animal crossing sign found in Florida? Here are your choices. A, do not handle flying foxes.
Oh, dear.
That's something I just reach up and catch every day.
I'm
just going by.
Not really. I almost want to say that because it is Florida.
Right off the bat, you're just like...
Someone would do that, for sure.
B, do not molest gators.
Yeah.
You know what? If you're going to molest a gator, you get it. You get what you deserve.
Exactly.
You're just pick up the pieces later.
Yeah.
Something tells me Monty from Palm Beach Zoo wouldn't appreciate
that. I think as a taxpayer, we should not put those signs up because then we would have, some fewer...
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah. Exactly.
Survival of the fittest. All right. No, C, land crab crossing. Or D, all of the above are legitimate Animal Crossing signs in Florida.
Well, I've seen the gator one.
Yes.
And... it's hard to believe someone would bother a flying fox. But
I don't think I've ever seen a flying fox, to be honest.
No?
No, have you?
Yeah, they're super cute.
Oh.
But I don't think you see them that often.
Making that up.
A flying fox?
Yeah.
You never seen it?
No.
Really?
I've never seen one in person, but I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, it's not like an actual fox, right?
No.
It's not a red fox?
Mm-mm.
No? With wings?
No, it's not like a Pegasus unicorn animal. No.
Okay.
That's the wrong
hybrid
show.
Of all kinds of weird things. No.
I'm going to say all the above.
You're right. All of the above are legitimate Animal Crossing signs.
Right.
Very good, Bo. I have no idea what your score was. I wasn't paying that much attention.
I think it was a 2.
You did great. Thank you for playing.
My pleasure.
We want to encourage people to follow. We post our schedules. Daytona's next. So we post our schedules, places that you can meet up with us, and we want you to come out and say hi.
Yeah, be sure to go to findingfloridapodcast.com and check out our next adventure page. It's super easy to find. You can go to the sidebar and just hit click.
Daytona Beach next. Well, we're driving along. Another random find we found on Route 1 was...
a very particular species of Florida.
Yeah,
the golf cart girls.
The golf cart girls. We had to stop and look at the big yachts that are along here. By the way, there are a lot of freaking big yachts along here.
There are.
Holy smokes. So we stopped at the port and the big yachts, and these 3 Florida girls who came roaring over in their golf cart.
We were taken completely off guard because we're standing there trying to take a selfie. And you have no peripheral view when you're taking a selfie. And the next thing we know, we just whoosh, these girls fly by in a golf cart. They're driving so fast, their food spills out.
They made the corner, and all their food spilled out, and the eggs went everywhere. And obviously, they were heading toward a yacht.
And then they turned, and it was a nice little private gate. So they were probably going on to the fancy ones.
Well, they are not having eggs.
Not having eggs. The eggs are done.
I wish we had gotten a picture with the random girls with the broken eggs, but we did not. So
we didn't think of it, but
that's our random
find.
Take time out for the good things.
Am I late? What's for dinner? Well, there's delicious fish from the cold glacial waters of the North Atlantic, shrimp fried in a secret batter, crisp boneless chicken.
Take time out for the good things.
Well, we just made our way north, and one of our last stops of the day, we are at Cod and Capers Seafood. And the reason that we're stopping here on the Animals of Route 1 episode is that, 1, they are along Route 1, and 2 is fishing is such a huge part of Florida and the huge part of the industry on the coast of Florida. And you guys have been around for 30 years, family-run operation. That's a long time selling fish, by the way. Jessica, tell us a little bit about the family. And you're part of the family.
I'm part of the family. My name is Jessica. My dad, sitting next to me here, Steve, started this company 34 years ago now.
Does he regret it at all, or no?
I think some days he does.
It depends on the day.
I think some days he does. No, he used to be a commercial fisherman, so it was a perfect fit for him as, you progress out of the commercial fishing lifestyle.
Because that's a tough life.
It's a tough life.
Yeah.
You get ready to settle down and have a family, and it was a natural progression.
And was it one of those, out of the trunk of the car when you first start? Or was it a storefront?
Well, it wasn't like this. I can tell you that.
Yeah, this is huge.
No, it was nothing like this.
Describe the store. This is one of the biggest fish markets I've seen.
Well, yes, our store now, lots and lots of square footage, on-site market, retail marketplace. We are also a wholesale distributor, so we have square footage that the public never even sees. We're a large-scale operation here for sure. But we started out very, very small, very little tiny seafood market.
And there's such a huge variety of fish, but also you guys are also a restaurant, and you guys serve. You have chefs here actually serve the food. So I'm wondering, is that normal? Are fish markets usually also restaurants?
No.
I didn't think so.
We are unique. There are some markets, especially in Florida, maybe down more towards the Keys, that do a model like that, but not like us. We are unique, and like I said, we're a wholesale distributor. So some of the variety that you see, we're able to have that because of the volume of stuff that comes through these doors.
Yeah.
So, you might see some markets with a little cafe, but I don't think there's anything quite like this.
It's so
around.
interesting because you guys, having been, your father being a previous commercial fisherman, you work with a lot of local fishermen, I saw. And then you also distribute out nationally and also locally to different businesses. But that's such an interesting, you guys see the whole chain of events of the fishing industry, like full stop, start to finish. You guys must deal with so many different types of characters and everything. But what is the most colorful and unusual type of fish that you guys are involved with?
I think unusual.
I thought she was going to ask fishermen.
I know, I did too. I was like, I don't. What?
We're heading to the Juno Pier tomorrow, so that will be a question we ask before we go.
I would say the most unusual that we deal with right now is probably the lionfish. It's so popular. It's really gaining some traction, and they're just so wild looking. With all their fins and their spines, they're beautiful, but they are, as I'm sure you guys know, an invasive species.
I was just going to ask. I could have sworn I heard.
I didn't even know you ate them.
Yeah,
they're a little getting out of control.
Delicious.
Yeah,
they are. If you go online, you can look at the map. They track them, and it's just where you used to see one spot. Now they've just exploded.
So it's open season on lionfish.
Open season. Open season. Actually, some countries that have been the most successful at eradicating them, basically they put a bounty on them. You mail
it's
in
like the wild pigs here in Florida the same way.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's probably the most unusual, and we love to promote it because it's completely sustainable. You're actually doing the environment a favor by getting rid of it. So
what's the most popular fish in Florida that people eat?
Ooh,
what's your biggest seller?
Grouper, snapper. I was going to say yellowtail. A grouper is really popular too. I would say for us locally, people want to, when they come here, they want to eat what's from here. People can get swordfish all the way up the coast. But the snapper and some of the groupers are really unique to Florida.
What's the hardest fish that they have to catch? Like, what's the one that just really gives some fishermen some trouble on those waters out there?
I think the fishermen I have the most respect for would be the sword fishermen. The way that we do it here, they go out overnight. They go way out there in the shipping lane. It's dangerous. They're out of cell range. It's dark. And they're out there by the
and they're line casting those, right?
Yes. He uses buoys and they use lines. But that's borderline. It's a little dangerous, and to be up there and be alert all night. That's tough. Than connections.
What's the most expensive thing you sell?
Ooh, the most expensive thing. Outside of caviar.
Yeah, we'll take that off the table.
Things like the sea urchin, uni, real unique things. I think one of the most expensive fish that we sell would be the Chilean sea bass, for sure. And if you think about that and people say, it's $40-something a pound, it comes from like almost down by the South Pole. That's a long way.
Yep. It had to swim a long way to get here. Yeah.
It did. Yeah. And we buy it from a sustainable fishery, so we pay a little more than maybe somebody else, but that's important to us.
I assume shrimp has to be a bestseller, right?
I think year after year, they say salmon and shrimp are the two most consumed seafoods in the United States.
Now, you guys are both in this every day. You're in here every day. Do you eat seafood?
We do.
Okay, just...
We do.
Weird if they didn't, don't you?
No, I can see, the good people who serves ice cream all day can't eat ice cream.
Both of us, our spouses are probably like, we're like, bring it home, and we're like, but we do really enjoy it.
So we were as we mentioned, we were at the Palm Beach Zoo earlier this morning, and they have a beautiful white alligator named Monty.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, and it got me thinking, do fish markets deal in alligator meat?
We have alligator meat here. We do. It's funny.
Sorry, Monty. Sorry to tell you.
I know. I think
I don't think Monty's pretty safe in that enclosure.
Safe where he is. We do. It's funny. The alligators are farmed. They're farmed in Louisiana, and they're actually farmed for their skin. The meat's really a byproduct. It's not why they're farmed at all. So, but we do. We have the alligator tail meat. It comes frozen and tenderized, ready to go. It's delicious.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I had alligator. I think it was like 10 or 11 years old. So it was kind of like chicken. Glenn was pointing out the
frog's legs, which I do think taste like chicken.
They do.
Yeah.
Every kind of fish. He is not a fish eater.
Oh,
I am the big time.
You should be at a ranch right now for me, but
He likes the beef. But yeah, so he was like, go down the line of the fish and tell me which ones you like. And I was like, this one, this one, this one, this one. And we get to the frog's legs. He's like, have you ever tried that? I'm like, I've never, but of all the things in this case, for you.
never fried it. Tastes like chicken. I wouldn't have known the difference if you'd put chicken wings or frog legs.
No, it's like a tender version of chicken. And gators too. It's like gators.
I'm actually going to be forcing him to eat some sushi tomorrow for lunch. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that going well. Where can people find you?
People can find us on the internet at www.codandcapers.com. We're also on Facebook. If anyone follows Facebook, fun videos of stuff that comes through our back door, the guys filleting fish, anything obscure, and a little bit of our personal lives too.
Well, Glenn just picked me up. We're headed out to Loggerhead on the rest of our trip, the day 2 of our road trip along Route 1, checking in all the animals. So we're going to be stopping at Loggerhead Marinelife.
Different kinds of animals need different kinds of habitats. And here in Florida, we have a variety of lands that offer a home to animals of all kinds. One of our most familiar habitats is the coastal area. Here, giant sea turtles come ashore after dark to lay their eggs on undeveloped beaches. Every summer, huge females like this loggerhead drag themselves out of the water to make their nests. 2 months later, tiny young turtles dig their way out of the sand and scramble quickly down to the sea.
Where we're continuing our adventures up Route 1, and we are at the Loggerhead Marine Life Center, and we're with Hannah Campbell, who's an environmental programs manager here. Hi, Hannah.
Hey, guys.
And this is all about turtles, which, by the way, one of my favorite animals.
I actually have a turtle tattoo. A lot of my listeners don't know that. I have several tattoos, and one of them is of a turtle.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, we won't ask her what night she got that.
Post gone wild.
What motivated that? So tell us about the center. What do you guys do?
So we are a small nonprofit rehabilitation center for sea turtles specifically, not just any type of turtles. We don't take any tortoises or terrapins, just sea turtles we like to specialize in, but we also touch on a lot of marine conservation topics, such as marine debris, etc.
So what makes the sea turtle different than the turtle that we see every day?
Well, number one, they live in the ocean.
Right.
So
Beside the obvious.
As terrestrial humans.
I was hoping she'd take that one.
I took the bait.
Yep.
As terrestrial humans, we don't get a lot of exposure to these animals because they are pretty much strictly marine animals, with the exception of their nesting season. When they come up to the beaches, the females will utilize the beach to build their nests and incubate for a matter of months until they return.
And a lot of beaches in Florida have sea turtle seasons where the beaches are off limits and things, right?
Yeah, so here in South Florida, our nesting season is March 1st to October 31st. So during those months, we have female sea turtles across 3 different species coming up on our beaches and laying their nests.
And I heard that a sea turtle can lay a ton of eggs, but out of maybe 1,000 little sea turtle babies, only one survives to adulthood. Their odds are really against them, right?
Yeah, the odds are definitely against them, and naturally they kind of counteract that.
By having a million?
Yeah, I mean, they lay a lot of eggs. They lay a lot of eggs, and, they are threatened and endangered animals, so we try and do our best to protect them. There are some anthropogenic or human-induced issues that are affecting the populations, and that's what we try and counteract. But naturally, they do lay up to 700 eggs per season, per mother.
And I know the babies, it's a miracle of life that they find their way to the ocean, but because they follow the light of the moon or something like that, and sometimes onshore human lights, man-made lights can be a distraction for them and cause a lot of confusion, right?
Yeah, artificial lighting is definitely one of the big problems that we try and tackle here in South Florida with all the coastal development. It's obviously a big issue here. Naturally, you were right. They do follow the reflection of the moonlight off the ocean, so they are kind of programmed, so to speak, through instincts to follow the brightest light on the beach at night, and that should be the moonlight, but in a lot of cases here in South Florida, it is street lights.
I got to tell everybody, we're standing in the middle of a bunch of tanks here.
Yes, you
You
are.
can probably hear them going, and we got Scary the turtle behind us.
Scary, not as in Halloween scary. Scary. He's actually named after one of our keynote speakers for our most recent fundraiser event for Blue ambassadors in the community and also Blue businesses, and that's Brian Scary.
Oh, he just came up to say hi.
Yes, he did. And take a breath.
Right on cue. Yes, that's it.
it.
He was showing off, and he's a big one. How what would he weigh?
He's a subadult loggerhead, and he probably weighs about 80 pounds. I can actually check myself on that. Yeah, he weighs about 77 pounds.
Wow.
So
that's a big turtle.
And shout out to our listener named Scaries.
You'll have to visit your
When do they
namesake.
come here? What gets you involved to the point where they actually arrive here?
So, good question. We don't actively seek out our sea turtle patients. We rely very heavily on the community and recreational boaters, recreational fishermen that are already in the community, already have their eyes and ears out there that can give us a call so we can respond in the event that they're displaying an abnormal behavior. Myself here naturally.
I assume you have a full vet lab and all of that stuff here.
We do, yeah. We have a full functional sea turtle hospital, much like a veterinarian hospital. You would bring your dog or cat, but obviously we're specific to sea turtles. So we have all of that on site here.
As people come to visit for the day, what are the kinds of things that they're going to experience and enjoy here at Loggerhead?
Well, we have, and drum roll please, we have 37 different programs that we offer to the public throughout the year, and it's geared towards all ages. So whether you're a child or a senior, there's something to do on campus any day of the week. Besides just coming in and seeing our patients that are here under rehabilitation and just learning about why they're here and what you can do to help, there are scheduled programs such as Mommy Me Pain or Hatchling Tales for kids and infants during the week. And then on the weekends, we have eco programs that take you out on paddleboards and kayaks, give you naturalist tours of the area. So really cool stuff.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a fantastic, this is a great place. What else besides just the Marinelife Center? I know it's a whole huge park for Loggerhead, right? What else is around here?
So we are actually located in a Palm Beach County park, and there
a
is
popular park, judging by trying to get parking today.
Yeah, it is super popular. We had some parking issues. There's also a craft fair going on A1A, which is our beachside road here. So this weekend is especially busy, but we do have Juno Beach or Juno Dunes Natural Area, which is just north of our center, and it's a free trail with educational signage that we've actually partnered with the county to provide guests, and you can learn about native flora and fauna all through about a half-mile stretch.
Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, we are here at the craft show, which is right by Loggerhead, and we found Douglas here of Snidely Wood, and you do some incredible things all with animals.
Yeah. Marine wildlife is my specialty. I've fished and surfed all my life. I retired from the Space Center, Kennedy Space Center, after 31 years helping launch every space shuttle.
Really? What was your job?
Wow.
I was a reliability corrective action engineer.
That sounds really
important.
Yeah.
Well, I basically did a lot of the investigations for hardware failures or mishaps, accidents, and
So you held some astronauts' lives in your hands, basically.
well, yeah. I was an inspector the first 15 years, where I would go in to the shuttles and basically watch the technicians take it apart and put it all back together for the next flight, for each flight.
Now, the art that you have here is mostly wood. Are you doing these yourself?
Yes. I've never had an art lesson. I've never had a carving lesson. In 2004, I started playing with
I know,
wood.
right? I'm looking back around, I'm like, okay, wait, because I'm looking around and these things
And
are
you know,
amazing.
also, engineer and art usually don't go together.
Right. Well, quality. I was a quality guy. The quality director is where I was. So I'm like anally retentive.
You pay attention to detail.
On detail. That's right. And if it isn't perfect, I don't bring it to the show.
Do you try to make these really structurally sound, like to make them look like they actually reflect the anatomy of what you're actually making? Because I noticed you have just make a fish. It's literally a swordfish, a snook. It's like it looks like you're taking your time to make sure that each one looks like the actual animal.
I study hundreds of photographs for each species that I make, each piece that I make. I've caught all of these fish at one point in my life. I make them exactly like the real thing, lifelike and life size.
How long does each one take?
That all depends on the type of wood, the hardness of the wood, the size of the fish, and the amount of detail in the finnage of the. Some fish have more fins than others, and most of the detail is in the fins.
And this is all carved out of one piece or not?
Yes.
Okay, so the fins are carved out of one piece or added on?
Well, 2 of the fins are added on.
Okay, sides.
Yes.
Yep,
Usually the side fin and one of the pectoral fins.
Wow. And how long does it take again?
Anywhere from 8 hours to 20 hours, depending on.
I thought it'd be longer than that, even.
Well, I've got it down. It used to be a lot longer. I've refined the process. I've also keep improving the different tools I use to try and make it faster, better, cheaper.
Where can they find your stuff?
Snidelywood Studio is located at 3905 Kings Highway in Cocoa, Florida. My phone number is area code 321-536-0754.
And the website?
Website is snidelywood.com, spelled SNIDELY wood.com.
You guys have to check this out. They're absolutely beautiful.
They're awesome.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we have stopped at the Juno Beach Fishing Pier, and this is quite a long pier. We've run into Sean, who's out here with his son fishing. Hello, Sean.
How you doing today?
Fantastic. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Awesome. And so you were just telling us, you come out here every Saturday just about.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stuff do you fish for?
Well, usually mackerel, bluefish, a lot of croakers, sand perch, and spots.
Okay, so that's a lot of fish I've never even heard of before.
Exactly. That's what's usually on the pier. They're all edible. All edible.
Them?
Definitely.
Yeah. This pier is even set up for it. I mean, they got the fish cleaning stations right on the pier.
Definitely. Yeah. We have at least 3 cleaning stations.
What's your favorite part about being out here and enjoying this part of the Florida experience?
Relaxation. You can't beat the Florida sun and climate and so forth, and just relax a lot here.
How much time do you spend here when you come out here?
Wow.
Too much. He really doesn't let the
Too
rest
much
of the
time.
family know that.
I
I
usually
noticed the wedding ring. Is she happy about it or not?
I'm usually here from about maybe 6 to 10.
Wow.
Notice he's here with his son and she is not here. So there's a reason for that.
She's kicking you out of the house.
No, she doesn't like fishing at all.
Obviously your son does. How old's he?
He's 8 years old.
And he loves
going on
it,
25.
apparently. Going on 25. I heard that.
Who has more success, you or him?
Well, last week he did. He caught, I think, 6 mackerel.
Wow.
About 14 inches each. There
So
goes
what
someone
will be
catching
a-
something there.
Oh, there we go. And it's very choppy today, which I assume means it's not going to catch as much.
No, not really. It's extremely dirty. I think they released the water from Lake Okeechobee, so that's why we're not catching anything right now.
Hey, can you tell when you come out here it's going to be a good day or not?
Definitely. When the water is slightly creamy to a certain extent, not entirely blue. If it's blue, you can fish on the tee and catch mackerel, bluefish, and the like. But closer to the shoreline, a lot of whiting and croakers.
What's your favorite fish to catch? When you catch it, you're like, oh my gosh, I got one. Snapper.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite to eat
Favorite
too?
to eat.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, now you got to tell us the recipe for your snapper.
Recipe, I'm Jamaican.
Yeah?
So what we tend to do, we escabeche. It's called escabeche. We fry the fish. And
Without anything on it? Plain? Just fry?
with seasoning from Jamaica, obviously. Black pepper, different fish seasoning and the like. And then we use green onions, yellow onions, and so forth, ginger, as well as hot peppers.
So what time are you serving this up tonight? Because
Maybe around 6 o'clock.
Well, no, we haven't caught anything yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, actually I did. Actually I did.
there's our invitation. There's our invitation. Well, thank you,
Not a
Sean. It's
problem at
been
all.
great.
Thanks a lot.
You try it? I'm not gonna try it. You try it. I'm not gonna try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't need it. He hates everything.
All right, so we are about to give Glenn. Is it this your first taste of sushi or what?
I've never had sushi. I don't like fish. I don't like any fish at all.
Welcome to the East Coast of Florida, baby.
No seafood, nothing that comes out of the water. What is it that you're giving me?
It is going to be a spicy tuna roll, ahi tuna. You're being treated to the best. Spicy tuna roll, and you're going to love it.
Makes me feel better. It's the best.
Hey, at least I'm not forcing like soy sauce and wasabi on you. Actually, I was, but my friend Viv had better plans. She's like, no, don't overdo it. So we're just going to do a piece of this roll, and it's going to be delicious, Glenn.
Okay, I don't do chopsticks. Can I get out of it there?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Use your fork, you lame-o.
Do I have to take a whole piece?
Yep, a whole piece, put it all in your mouth. One
whole
shot.
thing?
One shot.
What's the yellow goop on the top?
Doesn't matter.
What is the yellow goop?
It doesn't matter.
There's yellow and red goop.
He's going to love it. Full shot.
Okay, nothing about this looks good.
Full shot. You remember where the bathroom was, right? Because you just went before we got here.
Oh, where's my napkin?
No, you are not spitting this out. You're not allowed to spit it out. You're not allowed.
It might be on your lap.
You need to. Okay. No. No.
All right, here we go.
3, 2, 1. Chew, 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 chew. Chew. Don't you dare spit it out. I will be so mad at you. Chew.
There's nothing good about this. There's nothing good about this.
Chew. Don't spit it out. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. He ate it. High five.
Okay,
he ate it.
That is awful. Why does anybody eat that?
I'm going to eat all the other, 12 pieces.
That is awful. Okay, I still don't like fish. There's just way too much going on there.
Well, thank you for playing along.
Oh, my God. Well, here we are. It is the day after our road trip up Route 1. And it is pouring down rain.
Thank God it's pouring today and not the last 2 days. This would have ruined our trip.
It would have. We got lucky both of these adventures. The rain held off.
Absolutely. I guess God is on our side, Yeah. Nature is like, go do this. Talk about Florida. We love this place.
Talk about animals on Route 1. It was fun to see the animals.
Yeah.
Two, because we're both
so
animal
many
people.
Good ones. I had so many. Which one was your favorite? Did you have a favorite?
A white alligator. I'd never seen one before. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that was white.
Yeah.
Looked like somebody polished the thing.
That's my favorite too. But if I had to get a second, I would say Rudder, the sea turtle that we talked.
It wasn't the ever large rat that you liked so much?
Okay, I talked about Florida animals, and you had enough to say about the capybaras, and he's not technically from Florida, so we'll skip that one.
Okay. They were large rat. I like the turtles.
Yeah.
Turtles
so
are fun too.
So much good stuff. And the people who care for them are just phenomenal people.
It kind of reminded me of my world with the horse people who will do anything for the horses before they will for their kids or their families.
You know, it's interesting when I listen to, Horses in the Morning or whatever, and listen to Jamie or listen to some of the guests, you just hear them go on and on about all their knowledge, and it's like they know so much stuff. And it was kind of the same talking to these guys, whether it's Amy at the zoo or Hannah at Loggerhead or whoever. They just know so much and they care so much. They're like big old bleeding hearts for these animals, and it made it a really interesting experience. They really try to make it so that everyone who goes there learns something and has a really good time at the same time.
Yeah, the passion comes out.
Absolutely.
More with animal people, I think, with almost anything.
It was so fun. So fun. And we met a lot of other type of animal people.
Some we have it on the air and some we didn't.
I know.
That is one of the things that's happened this last couple that I don't know that we were really counting on is the people we'd meet along the way. Some we record and some we don't.
Yeah.
But how open for the ones we walk up to. The guy on the pier yesterday, you walked up to him and said, hi, stuck your hand out. He thought you were collecting money.
It was as if it was a predetermined interview. We had been scheduling it for weeks. He was so on the ball and ready to just talk about whatever.
I'll talk about whatever. Son's over there fishing and they come every week. It was perfect.
It was perfect.
And then, just all the other ones that we find along the way, all the other interviews and the people we find, that's been really cool.
You know what, though? We were mad at
the
ourselves.
Coolest part of our job.
We forgot to take picture with the guy from
I
the
know,
Pier. His
and
name
he
was
had
Sean.
fish. We could have had picture
Sean,
with
if you're
fish.
listening to this, please send a picture of you and your son to Jaime at FloridaPodcastNetwork.com. We'll put it up somewhere. We feel so bad. We were like,
we did. We forgot to do it. It's like we're amateurs. We have been podcasting for 10 years.
We don't know what
I should know better.
We'll still figure it out.
It was fun. It was enjoyable to do. Something, and this was a little different than our first one, which was a really tough adventure to get done in one day.
Yeah,
it was a challenge.
It was still tiring. I mean, let's be honest, it was going.
But we took our time this time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's clear to see that no matter what you are into and what you're interested in, if you live in Florida, you can do whatever that is. And if you are an animal lover, there's so much to do down here. And we went, an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of Route 1. That's just barely scratching the surface. There's probably so much more to do.
Yep. And we saw every car made is sold along Route 1.
It's true. There are a lot of dealerships along the road.
On Route 1.
We weren't going to bring that to you guys as an adventure. That's that'd get really expensive really quick. What?
A challenge to test drive a car in every dealership in a town.
Wait a minute. Our next adventure is Daytona.
Daytona.
Maybe we can test drive some race cars. I think that might be it.
We could test drive Maseratis and all kinds of stuff. Do they do a credit check? Because if they do, we're screwed.
Yeah, we're totally screwed. We need to really play it up and be like, look, this is a network.
Yeah,
we're
this
legit.
is for a show. We're real.
But yeah, so our next adventure is going to be in Daytona. So we actually have, if you go to our website, look up our next adventure, and you'll be able to see what we're trying to collect ideas about Daytona. Please tell us all of your ideas of what we can do in Daytona and really explore. If you live there or if you visited, that's going to be our next stop.
FindingFloridaPodcast.com is where you'll find all of that. Thank you for listening. We're going to be back again. Finding Florida Podcast is also where you'll find links to all of our social media, where you'll find links to iTunes and Stitcher and all of those places where you can listen to our show.
Yeah, and it's fun. Well, as we're going on these adventures, we post a lot of interesting pics on our social media. So it's always, try to bring you guys along with us as we're actually doing it too. So we post a bulk of them after the fact in the show notes, but if you want to preview, it's good to catch up on our social media.
For most of the pictures on this trip, then go to findingflorida.com, click on episode 2B.
Or findingfloridapodcast.com, which is the actual URL. Glenn.
Let's do that again.
Don't do it again. It was perfect. findingfloridapodcast.com.
Thank you, everybody.
Now here's to your next adventure.